Sorry.
Good evening. So we'll move along quickly. It probably should be a fairly easy meeting. The first thing would be the approval of the minutes, which were circulated, I believe. Everybody, good with the minutes? All right, do I have a motion? You have a motion by Carol, a second? Second to approve? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, great. Minutes are approved. Announcements, I have two things, and maybe someone else has an announcement as well. The Pennsylvania Environmental Council, you might remember the very first meeting we had, we passed a recommendation that the board take on the offer of the Pennsylvania Environmental Council to do a review of our ordinances with respect to getting some green stormwater infrastructure best practices in place. Mary Beth and I met with them last week. They're coming along very well. And within the next couple of weeks, right, they'll have their recommendations for us. They look great. They look detailed, organized, just everything we would need to, or the township would need to, understand and take up whatever they could wish. The other thing I really want to ask everybody, because I don't want to inundate your inbox. The DCNR, the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, which runs our park systems, our state park systems, is doing a survey. They really care about getting as much feedback in this survey as they can get. I know that because I'm getting requests from everybody I know, saying, they really want stuff back. So would you be okay if I sent you the link to the survey? Pretty good. You don't have to do it, but you don't mind if I send that link. Okay. Yeah. And the reason they want a whole bunch is that apparently, at least if they think they've got a very representative response, they will base their future plans on what it seems the residents, at least they will take that into very good consideration. So excellent. Excellent. Any other announcements?
I guess the only other thing would be the open space survey that should be going out soon, within weeks. So for the township.
So you may or may not get one.
It's
not
random.
everybody, it's
selection.
the sampling company, I don't know who they're sending it to or how they're choosing out, but it will go out to.
But if you get one completed,
Please.
It's now very short.
It's very short.
Very short.
Any other announcements? No? Okay. All right. So the fall festival, we'll have one more meeting after this one before the fall festival. So we want to kind of nail things down. Do people like the idea of trying to get a banner made in time for the festival? The issue would be, would we want a logo on it? And if we do, can we make some decision that we think we want to live with for a while? Because we'd be asking the township for a little money to get a banner. I don't know if to say yes to that, but it wouldn't be a fortune, but it shouldn't be something we'd want to redo for quite a while. So that's the question.
I would direct that to the manager. And
I never know who to ask for money.
I can't offer it
Within reason,
myself.
on a $10,000 banner. I'm only kidding. That'd be fine.
to get.
I asked Graphic Imaging and they said outside 2 weeks. Yeah, they're quick.
And then local.
I don't know another one, but then that would be for a nice banner with a well-done seam, heavyweight material, grommets. We could put if it would fit, we can hook it to this. Yeah, top of it, and or in front of it to the moment, if we like the the visual of it hanging from the tent, either one. The Doylestown logo. I don't know if you can see, they've got their seal. And which is nice. We have a nice seal. The colors are good. Black animals anyway. And blue and green. And this integrates the seal with a design that they probably did themselves. We can come up with our own. I'm not suggesting we copy theirs at all. Just the idea of the seal with a design. Put your thinking caps on. Anybody know any graphic artists?
It's pretty easy to get stuff on Canva.
If you make it yourself, though, we wouldn't want to steal it. Yeah, you have to be careful with copyright.
Yeah, I mean, you can do anything you want on Canva. It doesn't really. It doesn't matter. Yeah, do whatever.
I mean, this belongs to us, so it does have some green in it. I mean, maybe we can just do something with a border around it in green and. As we can see. But it can't be too large or it's gonna be very in front of our faces, so it has to be behind us in the tent.
You just want like a white banner with the design in the middle of it. Some
Or
trees.
to the side.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Trees, you can say.
What's the shape?
Kind of a rectangle.
Oh, that's
It goes around Peace Valley and yes, it's kind of a weird,
Yeah, it's totally weird that.
It- that's why they use Bucks County with their little incentive.
Hmm.
We really kind of, we're a worker with Jalfont and with Verno.
So this company, what I was thinking is. Here's the band, right? And you could do something like this and just put some kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Trees,
Yeah.
recycling, whatever.
If we can change it in the future.
So in other words, just keep the seal where it is. We want this in the middle, that's all we want to set. And then a design here.
Or even if you're doing the circle with the logo on the one side, you could maybe do a globe on the other side. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earth.
Global house.
Does that company make the design for you, or you have to go there?
That's X.
You pay a lot.
Yeah, you would pay a lot.
And per color.
No, all the colors you want. What they do is they take the image that you give them, which needs to be high resolution, and simply print it. Care about color, they're basically copying it. And then, so, I don't want to say it's like photocopying because I say. But yeah, no extra for color. Size matters, but I think we can talk about size.
Good. Or like, you have to be able to tie it, so it could be less, it has to be less than 10.
Less, and we want the flexibility of being able to put it in the front of a table.
And you can ask Kirsten Connect, she's good at that stuff, right?
Yes, I was thinking of asking Kirsten.
She's got the eye, and then
That makes sense.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I know, I was here.
Okay.
We should be able to get a photograph.
I'm sure they need to be pretty good, so.
I'm sure. No, the 300 committee, we have Smith Prince. Do a rendering. Well,
Okay. I know they can do photos, they wrap cars, and that's all done.
So we just need to get a good.
It would be that there should be somewhere on our server that rendering that, because they use it to print t-shirts and everything.
Right, Smith Prince put it together when the 300 committee was doing it. I don't know that we had it in color. I think that might be the only copy we have in color. But,
Is that color, t-shirts?
right, because Smith Prince did
But
the artwork for it. We could ask, Scott. And see if, I mean, we could, with them for it, so why wouldn't
Why
it
wouldn't be
belong to
ours?
us? But I'm not sure Scott would know that.
let's say we'll find out about
But
that.
we'll task our event planner with finding it on the server or Cynthia Jones, if she seems to be the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of finding the high.
Yeah,
I'll ask you.
for Canva, you need a digital printout of everything you want. It needs to be all, and then they can put the earth into it.
Okay.
You can just do it from like the.
All right, we will get to that. If you want, feel free to throw spitballs at us
Yeah.
during the next month or so.
Contact us.
Contact us, yeah. You don't have to wait till the next meeting, because a month's a long time, and this time it's a little longer. All right, great, so we would like to post a call for volunteers on the website. Would that be possible, Dan?
Sure, just write up something
Okay.
and send it over, we'll get it posted.
I need to get this out. Shall we move on? Everybody ready to move on? So we have three recommendations. The first is the recommendation for the Board of Supervisors to grant permission for the Newfoundland Association to do the planting, which we talked about before, along the new Greenway Trail off of Upper State. So we are recommending that they'll do. Any comments from the council?
So it's one.
Yeah, that one, watershed.
And I'll come up with a number of trees.
Okay. More trees.
Yeah, right, yeah, the plant.
Any comments or questions from the public on this?
I do, I think this is one question. So when they're planting, the trees are planted, are they gonna be close to any roadways or?
No, they're gonna be along the creek.
They're close to trees, okay. Okay,
You walk in.
or near like the trail itself, where it's, like, I always think to me when a tree is planted. And as it grows bigger, then it breaks, it's break, that's what I'm saying, there might be some thought that. Too close to the trail, but.
Yeah, Ryan Cressman has, we've already walked the site, Ryan Cressman has, we have agreed on a distance from the trail that trees cannot be planted within a certain distance from the trail, from the blacktop. To address that concern.
Yeah, because as I walk around my own neighborhood, I can see that, as people, the bigger trees or the sidewalk is ripped up and, push the sidewalk up, they haven't replaced the sidewalk. So that's what I always think of, like, yeah, the trees they're nice, but they're too close to us.
Yeah.
But there's something that.
And I think,
They will be. 6 feet, basically, off of the blacktop. Trees will volunteer anyway, so they'll be moving. Our cages will be off. That here.
We have cages for these.
deer cages.
Cages are available.
Yes, the
That
tree
might be the
dangerous.
number of trees I can find.
They'll be cage for every tree.
Put it back. Okay.
No, you can find them. Cages.
Okay. Okay,
That's side.
and you're looking for larger trees though, the ones I have.
Okay. Well, we were planning a mix of nursery container trees and some of those that we've propagated outside.
Okay, because I have some available that are sitting in Peace Valley and I'm potting them up to the next size, and I'd be delighted to plant them somewhere.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, but it's red maple, silver maple, which probably should go back farther. And some red oak.
I don't think sourcing trees is not going to be an issue this year. Each year, we don't know.
Thank you.
And I'm remiss for not introducing Ken, who is the lead on this. Thanks to him for all that he has done. And the EAC will happily, because I know I have some planters here, will happily assist.
Right?
And so this is along Upper State Road. Is this between Allen Avenue and Bristol? Is this where this is going to be?
Uh,
What part of
it's the
the
other
other side?
essentially, the Coleman property, that the trail that's. Goes past. Yeah. Yeah, Shannon. Sorry, I wasn't prepared to,
That's
do you
okay.
have? Okay.
Yeah, but soon be.
The sewer authority is on Upper State.
Yeah, on the street.
It's across the street.
This is Larry. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Some needs trees.
And you can park at the sewer authority where there are actually a few spots designated for the tree. And then you just walk down the sidewalk and across the designated walkway and you're on the truck.
And isn't there a new parking lot of this? Right
It's not me
on,
yet though.
right on, up there.
It's on,
Parking lot.
it's on the Coleman.
It's open. The parking lot's open now. It is. We get it before. Yes. It's very easy access.
What do they call those things they put up? Marking the start of the trail.
Trailhead, sort of trail
Trailhead.
pillars,
Pillar.
monuments.
Yeah.
Stone monuments or cement monuments.
Thanks.
All right, so is everyone, do I have a motion to make this recommendation? You'd like to make a motion? Okay. Second, everybody is seconding. Pick one, pick one. All in favor? Aye, okay, fabulous, passed. All right. Next, we have, the lights out. Do you want to speak to that, Barbara?
Sure. So, Lights Out is a program that's led by the National Audubon Society. And basically, it's just a volunteer program for folks to, turn their lights out or dim them or, put lower CCT, the color temperature lights during bird migrations. And most specifically between the hours, I believe it's 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. that you try to turn your lights out. Most of the big cities are doing it in the area of Philly, New York, and more recently, some suburban areas, for example, the Youngstown Township just started and they're supporting the Lights Out program. So all it really is asking the Board of Supervisors to publicize on our website that we support the Lights Out program. And I just really want to stress, it's completely volunteer. We're just urging residents and commercial entities in the township to take a look at the program and support dimming or turning their lights out during the bird migration periods in the spring and the fall. Now, there's a bit of urgency with this one because the bird migration for the fall actually starts on August 15th. And the next Board of Supervisors meeting is August 5th, I believe. So as a help, I tried to draft a resolution that I will give you the Word document. You can edit it any way you choose, but if the board supports it, then you can get it out there and get it on the website before August 15th. And all the information, I put hyperlinks and so residents can go and take a look.
And we just, even if we don't approve it, can we just post the information on
Mhm.
the website and Facebook?
I think we
I
could.
don't really think it needs Board of Supervisors approval. Just need your approval.
Well, we don't know. We didn't know and we don't want to go making decisions that we're not supposed to.
Well,
No.
what we're suggesting is that the board adopt a resolution and that it go in with the resolutions that the township has adopted. Which is a stronger version.
But in the short term,
Uh-huh,
because I'm not quite sure what's already on our
agenda.
agenda for the 5th, and then we don't meet again till September, whether or not we're going to have room or space to do that for ordinance by August the 5th, but we can certainly receive anything from the EAC and post it on the website and the Facebook page. I know I share that on Facebook every year.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, good.
Well, I can draft something for the website, but in the meantime, we'd like to put forward a resolution, whether or not a recommendation, whether or not it gets done on
That's
August 5th.
fine. I'm not stopping you. I'm just saying in the short term, and since I don't know what else is on the agenda.
Okay. All right.
It's gonna look more like the Doylestown one. Or like this isn't.
Well, the Doylestown
Just-
one, they use a lot of support of, Birdtown because they're a bird town and we are not. So I can't really say that. So I kept it really brief. I will read this out loud. too.
It's this, it's not,
This is our recommendation.
but it's not.
The resolution does have whereas.
The resolution, I took another resolution that the township did in support of something else like this and just kind of,
I would put out the 1 billion bird side, because I don't know if that's,
that is true.
That's true.
it's a lot of birds.
Yeah.
They
That's,
go up
I
by
was
the
thinking, what's
thousand.
the,
Migration. Flyway, which goes all along.
but it's different.
Really?
No, it doesn't
I
say
get
that.
That's. Not, I realize they're not all billion.
No, it's in,
Township, where's birds? I'll be honest, I haven't, I mean, just me personally, I haven't seen a dead bird. But that, you know.
But where would we go to see the dead birds?
Like my point is like, I just, to me, I know cat, like you have never seen. Like cats, what if you Google this? It might be interesting. But I don't, but birds die from anything, like cars hit them.
Yeah.
Kill them.
That's where on the sidewalks surrounding buildings. They left the building out.
there was a huge bird strike thing in Philadelphia. You didn't see that?
Anybody that lived in the building, she said, that's they walk out the door because the sidewalks covered with birds.
That's the Billy to the dog.
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, they were thinking they had all their lights on and. Yeah, I forget how many stores it was.
No, and I understand, but I. Setting. Lights also provides sense.
Well, they.
Like, to me, it's conflicting study. There's always studies that leave lights on.
They, the 9/11 in New York turns the light off. On again, they give 20 minutes so that the bird, because the birds are getting confused and they circle around. They have to fly far out, but that's all in Concord Center. So you look at every. It's not just New Britain Township.
Yeah. And part of the idea is to educate people about all of it.
I'm not forcing it.
No,
It's voluntary.
and it's as much about education as it is, you know, although we people do. 11 to, it's not either 9, 10, but kids.
Yeah.
No, and I get that, but I also think that if you're recommending people turn all the lights off and everybody, let's say everybody in township complies with your recommendation. Then don't you become, doesn't your township become a target for burglars? Because they're all gonna know everybody has their lights off. So they can, that's catch 22, for every, you know, again, good intentions can sometimes create other issues. And that's all I'm saying, like, that's.
Okay, so once again, it's voluntary. So if you feel unsafe,
Well, it's, but I guess I think that to James, I think saying, putting in the resolution that $1 billion birds. Out.
that's,
It's in Doylestown.
It's a Doylestown road.
I think it's in this one.
No, that's.
This is the resolution. This-
No.
but that is actual
our
data.
recommendation.
It doesn't have that.
It's actual data.
Yeah, the recommendation, I believe, mentions you can have activated, like often activated, so it's not a crime, you can do that. And I just wanted to mention just that it's a great educational opportunity. And I was telling my friend in Florida about it, and they do it with sea turtles. They turn out lights for that same kind of thing that they do. So it's not like a novel idea, it's just saying, hey, public, this is the real thing, this is something we give you something about, it's not gonna increase crime, because you can continue with the motion act.
Mhm. Right. Okay, do I have a motion for this one? Margaret.
I will motion. Make the recommendation.
Okay. Margaret, this was Margaret's thing. Thanks to Lucy and thank you to Lucy for bringing this to us. That's great. You brought it to us last time. Okay, for a second, all in favor? Three, five, and the next.
Yeah.
All right, and then our third one is parking ordinance revisions. After struggling with this for many months. And trying to figure out how to approach a really complicated topic. I tried to go as simple as I could. And make a few basic comments and suggest, as you saw, because I know you have the document, that the township adopt as far as possible the best practices as recommended in the Montgomery County Handbook on green parking lots, which is for Philadelphia, for Pennsylvania, as I understand it, the gold standard. It's the one everyone points to as the one to use. So I believe you all saw. Does anybody have any questions about the recommendation
I didn't understand, what's the length
of this, but rather than
new developments, full space required, not you.
devoted to enhancing the green infrastructure design. So the suggestion there was, and this is a commonplace now in trying to rethink parking. Are we really, because townships have requirements, if you, this kind of business or institutions or residents or whatever, you're required to have so many parking spots.
Yeah, the sentence before says for 30 efficiency apartment.
That was an example.
That was an
Yeah,
example.
That's what I'm saying, so then when, that's what I'm saying, but then in the next sentence where you say the total space required should not be reduced. But you're still saying, so for the 30 efficiency apartments,
Not,
it's still 60.
maybe that's not clear enough.
Okay, that's what I meant, that's,
Yeah, not the, what I was
Okay.
trying to say was not the parking spaces, the number of parking impervious surface, that should not be reduced. Maybe I need to read. The total space required means devoted to. You warned me.
Darn you revised.
The total space required for that building should not be reduced. Although the totals
This goes by percent.
paid parking
It's all by
spots,
percent.
oh, it's really complicated.
Yeah,
There's a bad-
there's- Well, there's a formula. It's not.
Yeah,
I think, there's two separate things here. Maybe you can take the example out because we got that parking ordinance revision back in February. You guys remember that?
yeah.
And one of the examples that really struck out to me is that they combined pretty much everything. Efficiencies, studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and lumped everything together to get 2 spaces per unit.
Mhm.
Whereas you really don't need 2 spaces per unit if some developer decides to come in and put in just all efficiency apartments. I don't think you need that much parking. So that was a bad example, and maybe that just needs to be taken out of this and given that feedback to Gilmore with regard to that recommendation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just take it out of this since it's confused, since it's making it confusing.
All right, but
Just
would
take
you
out
like
the
to
sentence.
keep, the EAC further advises that whenever practical, the BOS reduce the minimum parking required by use? And just take out what's in the parentheses?
Yes.
So
Yes.
keep that. Okay,
Yeah, just take out the example.
okay, take out the example. And then perhaps clarify the next sentence. For new developments, the total space required should not be reduced, but rather, um, but rather does that not make sense? But rather devoted to enhancing the green infrastructure design? Is that unclear?
I think
It's
it could be
unclear.
worded better.
Yes, maybe worded better.
Need to work on it, can always table it for this meeting and bring it up at another meeting.
Well, I guess so you don't want to reduce the total space.
Oh, I know, how
But-
about, yeah. This space saved
Okay. Yeah,
should be
that's the
devoted,
argument. Yeah.
should be devoted to enhancing the green infrastructure design. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's.
Yes. Yep. The space. So we're eliminating, so that we can vote on this as amended, I want to be clear. We're eliminating what was in the parentheses,
Mhm.
for example, 86, multifamily, et cetera. And then in the next sentence, it'll be for new developments. Maybe we don't need that, just say the space saved. The EAC further advises that whenever practical, BOS reduce the minimum required, period. The space saved should be devoted to enhancing green infrastructure. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, space saved, period.
Space
Say
say should be devoted to enhancing the green infrastructure design.
That work?
Yep. Is that,
Everybody look at it. I would like to have a vote on this as amended. I want it off my desk.
I agree.
It's been since February, terrible. I like that,
Shall be.
Shelby.
Shall be.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. I have to get better at these. You shall.
Can I change the should be?
Reinterpretation, yeah, shall be, do it.
Yeah. Oh, I know that, it's just my tendency is, I guess, not to shall. All right. Do I have a motion? You want to official any of these changes? Oh, she's gonna go in. Oh, you're gonna do it, okay. Shall we all initial or just me or? Okay. Good job. Is it okay if I do it with pencil? It's fine. Do I have a motion? Okay, second, Jamie seconds. All in favor? Aye. Yay. Okay, all right. Fabulous, fabulous. Moving on. Oh, okay, weed spraying. Some of you may have heard that questions have arisen regarding, what is a regular practice. Although it wasn't one that, really was called attention to very much, using, well, it's basically Roundup, it's glyphosate with a surfactant, on the weeds that grow in the crack between curbs and street. When it came to light, some people were upset, and wanted to just say, I don't know, I don't like that, I don't think I like it, what can we do? There was a woman who volunteered and said she would be here tonight to look for other methods, and she still may be interested.
I opportunity. First of all, the township's gonna evaluate next year whether we do the program or not.
So I thought we were going to be.
We're not sure.
Okay.
We will evaluate. We're asking our provider who does it for other applications to see if there's something else that can be done. We'll make a decision next spring if we go forward or not.
So you don't want us to do,
You can look, but
what I could say,
it's gonna be, it's the board's decision. We know how people feel. Only the plant itself gets sprayed. It's not a straight spray all along the curb line. It's only the plant itself. It's gone on for 20 years in the township.
yeah,
And it's only on curb lines. It's not where there's no curbs and you just have a drainage swale. So it's just curb lines. If we do it next year, we may just do the streets we're repaving. Just to make sure that we get everything and kill everything, so it doesn't come up. But they're all policy decisions that we'll tackle next spring, so
we're just responding.
that's fine.
And I was gonna throw out there that we could offer to do a study. But if you're not interested in.
You can do what you want, but I'm just telling you what our position is right now as far as the administration and Public Works Department is concerned. We'll bring it to the board with some alternatives next spring. And then one of the alternatives, we don't do it. It's not a big deal. It wasn't that expensive. So it was one of those things that we did it to try and save the streets. Because once you get roots that go through the curb line and break once the blacktop, once water starts getting under the blacktop, that's when we start losing roads, because that's when ice forms underneath there. Once that seal's broken, it's,
You said they didn't they go.
yeah, but we don't do that all the time. So
You're gonna
once
spray
water
it.
gets underneath the street, then you'll lose it within 3 or 4 years. That's what causes potholes, is water underneath, not on top, it's water underneath. Yep. So we'll take a look at it. We've heard the complaints. We heard the concerns. So, right,
To give people a way to engage it and kind of take some ownership over looking into.
we didn't have people opt out. I'm not sure of the exact number, but it wasn't overwhelming. So again, we'll look at it.
And to get involved and educate. I personally, research science, and work with them. But there was a real lot of information. People are concerned, just like people were concerned with pictures, people who are concerned for their own health, for their kids' health. There's people concerned for the environment. There's people asking, does it need to be done for taxpayer money? The website could provide that information.
It could have been better.
Great opportunity to answer, but rather than some of the started comments that happen through the Facebook comments.
Yeah.
So if whatever they do, the township should be more communicative about it.
If we decide to go forward with the program, or if we will certainly put a lot of information out about it. Yeah.
Not as effective.
I am not anything about Roundup or Gloucester City. At all, I'm just saying that, I called the township actually as a resident. The woman Donna was so very nice, had no idea, she said, I saw it on Facebook, we have no information. I submitted the notice form thing, and Brian Preston got back to me, I asked him for the SDS, he provided it, it was all very helpful. But that was just me and the town, everyone could use that.
We did provide that to the board. Once the questions arose at the board meeting, we did send out the spec sheet to the board. And we probably could have shared it everywhere, and we live and learn. There's a reason to do it, but there's also, you know, maybe we just only do the roads for repaving to make sure we kill everything that's underneath. So I don't know. We're gonna work on it.
It's the spraying, like you said, they're kind of selective as they can. But in our case, in our development, which is 40-something years old, Circle Drive. There's a clear separation between the gutter and the road. There's dirt in there. I mean, this is.
Yeah, it's gonna be ongoing.
years. So really, the remedy is to seal it.
Right.
But I don't know what that would be.
It's
Probably more than around.
a lot more.
Right, my point is, there's already.
Right. No, I know.
Whether there's plan to.
Well, a road basically has a useful life of 15 to 20 years, depending upon the volume of traffic that goes on the road. It's all about volume. A small road that's a circle will get very little volume, so it should last longer. The elements will get to it before the traffic volume gets to it. So,
Another reason is the HOAs, which can pretty much do what they want. So if education were out there on proper application, reason for doing it, times not to do it, don't do it right before it rains, that kind of thing. Then it could cure a lot of ills, yeah. And I know that the township's working on a new website, which, you know, will make communication easier. Okay. All right. So we'll set that idea aside for right now. Okay. Thank you for all that input. That's terrific. That's exactly why we need people at the meetings. I think a lot more gets moving and gets done when we have good conversations like that. The EAC Network Fall Conference, I don't know if I put anything in my email to the public about this. So the EAC Network that's what we did in the spring, except this is a much bigger conference. Every year, the EAC Network has a fall conference. It goes over 3 days at least. There is a fairly serious registration fee. I don't remember what it was last year. I don't know. What came across our emails recently was an announcement that if EACs have something that they would like to present on, was it lighting and something else? There were 2 topics. Then let them know, but there's no information out yet. And I emailed the very nice lady I've talked with before, she hasn't gotten back to me. But so we don't have dates. We don't have agenda. We don't have registration.
There is a date, there's a date, we don't have
An
an
exact
exact
date.
Saturday, October
October
5th.
5th, okay. But I don't think it's just one day, not like last year. Last year was more than one day. If I'm thinking of the right, they're gonna try. So we have to wait on that. I will let him something back. Okay, other business? Yes.
Following along on the survey issues, I just want to mention that the Bucks County Planning Commission also has a survey, which is open to whoever wants to do it on their website, concerning they're updating the county open space plan. And that's for anyone that wants to take it.
And it's at the Bucks County website.
Yes.
Bucks County Planning Commission.
Is that on the Facebook page for people to do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do have one thing I think I might want to put in just in our sites, but we can't, I wouldn't want to start this before the festival, fall festival. Perhaps the EAC and friends could think about places around the township property, all parks and whatever, areas along the creeks that could use some trees. Because we should have some trees available perhaps, since there are some funds, we think there might be some funds from fee and lieu. Yes?
There should be. I can't
Might
tell
be.
you anything right now. I
Oh,
don't,
yeah. No,
not off the top of my head.
no, this is just, sort of getting out ahead of it.
Okay.
Because if it came up, so say a new development comes up. And you say, okay, we want replacement trees. The developer would say, okay, where? You know,
I'd have to check with Gilmore, because I know that's come up a couple times. I know with County Builders has come up with the, look at Wawa, I can never remember their Birch Run. I believe that they have an obligation. I need to check with Gilmore. And usually they're the ones that oversee it, but I don't see any reason why, if you can have suggestions or work with them, it would be a problem.
yeah, I mean, very informally, I wouldn't even suggest that we would have to, I don't want to impose or interject us. Unless we're.
Well, these are already done deals.
It would be helpful if Gilmore came in to. Their practices. An offer to do that a few months ago.
That costs money.
I don't know, did he? Who, we're talking
I
about
thought there
Craig?
was somebody, before I was sitting here, and I was sitting out there, I believe.
At,
was-
at Board of Supervisors
Board of
meeting,
Supervisors meeting, he came and said, you know, if you want to know how we function, I'd be happy to come in and talk to you.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be 3 hours, just like, come in and give us an overview of.
I think he can, he can cover that for the township.
I think that would be really helpful. For me, it would be very. I don't live in a development, I've never had to deal with it, so I. I think it would be helpful. We knew how Gilmore did this engineering, what their guidelines are, so that we would know. Especially when we're writing suggestions to the board of supervisors. Let's,
I think if we
Yeah,
go
yeah.
back and look at the last two developments that were approved, County Builders and Birch Run, even High Point. Um, and follow whatever was done as part of those agreements. Because if they come in, they ask for waivers, we ask for things in return. But by statute, they are required to replace so many trees. I can't personally remember what the agreements were, but Gilmore is supposed to be following up on that and making sure it gets done. We've also discussed hiring an independent firm to do that because it's a lot for Gilmore to handle. And having a third party perhaps doing that might be more beneficial and.
so
perhaps less-
they do a tree inventory.
Less expensive.
And then we know when it's done, what's missing. That kind of idea, you have some.
No, something different. I don't want to get into that
Okay.
deeply, but we can look into that. I can certainly.
Thank you.
yeah, we thought it was. I had a meeting one time about the Birch Run. I asked a question in general about, well, where would trees go? If there would be so many replacement trees that needed to find homes. And he just said, wherever you want. Sort of like
Greg said that?
Craig said that.
Very possible. Okay,
It would seem.
because you're in by the township. So
You want to make recommendations on where they go?
We just thought we just thought we could help out by providing a list of some spaces that would be appropriate for some tree planting when the time comes that it's like, okay, here,
Well, that would be coming up in fall,
okay. Okay,
this time for planning.
Just a point of clarification for me, for the active developments that are still building, are they obligated to be the ones digging and?
Depends what the whatever the approval required. There's always letters, they submit plans. The engineer reviews them, comes back with points, and then back and forth until they agree to do it. So it's part of the overall approval process.
I've never seen a developer do anything off their own site. They'll do their own site for planning. I've never seen them go off-site to a development or to an area to plant trees. Because they're not gonna be responsible for the maintenance of them off-site. They'll be responsible for the maintenance on-site because they're there. I'd be shocked if they took responsibility for trees that
I
aren't.
don't think they took responsibility. I do remember. They to buy the trees, I think they would be planted at West Branch.
They provide them, but they're not gonna
I don't-
maintain
I
them.
can't- It's not a planting because it's a. But.
It's very rare that they'll go. So-
And what they've agreed to do and what they're required to do, that's on plans.
Yeah, this is an example of why it might be helpful to hear this.
We can arrange to have Craig come in, maybe the October meeting.
I just.
Well, he might have an hour or so to donate, I'll have a chat with him.
Okay. Any other questions, any other business? No, we're quiet tonight. Okay, all right, if you have more thoughts on a logo that would be something we keep for a while, just email it, take pictures, send pictures.
You
Okay,
can get the digital copy of the logo and the name of, New Britain Township. It's easier to make it.
Mhm.
So we could just do it ourselves.
we're gonna have to look into what we can get on that soon.
It's not like anybody.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? So moved, do I have a second? I'll second. Okay.
Make sure you announce that the next meeting's on the 5th or the 4th. Yes.
Change. Say, months of September 4th at 7. In this spot,
Should be-
will be.
We have back to school. Well, then it's not.
Thank you very much.